that is seamless customer journeys, elevating experience through omnichannel strategies and scalable technology solutions. For this, I would request Dr. Kshemendra, Head of Communication and Customer Centricity Agency Business, Tata AIA Life Insurance. Mr. Roy Sharma is the Head of Communication and Customer Centricity Agency Business at Tata Life Insurance with over 21 years of experience, and also he's accountable for the development, integration and implementation of a broad range of activities related to the strategic direction and positioning of Tata AIA Dream Team, agency and behavioral changes catalyst for customer obsession. Mr. Sharma has studied from some of the most premium institutes like Columbia Business School, Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad, as well as Indian Institute of Management Indore, leveraging his expertise across disciplines. Also, he is a guest lecturer enabling transdisciplinary learning at institution of repute. He was a recipient of prestigious J.N. Tata Endowment Scholarship twice for UC Madrid and EFPM IIM Indore and R.D. Setna Scholarship for Academic Research. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dr. Roy Kshemendra Sharma?
Two lessons I learned first thing in the morning. I'll next time share not the latest photograph of mine, but 5-10 years back. I saw the CTO photograph and I was feeling very uncomfortable that I've aged very fast. But when I realized that both the speakers prior to me are of the same age, thank you, sir. This is...
You just need to take it.
No, I have clicked it on. Thank you. The role of a keynote speaker is to roll on the pitch, to make sure that the speakers who are coming after him have a good play. All the bowling and the batting which is supposed to happen after my speech will mostly be on the lines. I have a 13-slide presentation, to be very frank, 15 minutes of time which has been allocated to me. I will not be taking or soliciting any brands. And I'll be talking of a general being having an academic background. I largely would look forward to how industry academics and this field is evolving. The topic is long. Before moving ahead, I just want to make a disclaimer. This is pro bono and this is based off my research and academic interest. Has nothing to do with my current role, past role, or roles which I may get in future being a part of such an elite network. The topic says seamless customer journeys, elevating experience through omni-channel strategies and scalable technologies. I just want to share a marketing cartoon. The first thing which you say is we are tracking a customer we don't know. So somebody who is walking or hiking, you're trying to sell an insurance, maybe a car insurance, any other insurance. We are tagging our customers 24/7. We are following him XYZ wherever we find him. Different which customer feels is that while he is looking for a product, he looks for all the information which he or she is desiring across the board, but finally ends up to using either the product he or she was using or switches back to the old way of washing clothes by hand because he's not getting the reliable or the correct option. And then we suddenly as marketers realize that we find a gap in the customer journey. Why is it important to have an omni-channel and why it matters? The reason is, as mentioned by the CTO, the dynamics of business are changing every day. From minutes to seconds, now it is getting microsecond processing. If you see the National Stock Exchange advertisement, they actually talk that in how many microseconds, how many transactions are getting processed. So the level of dynamism has gone to the extent that you are now talking of processing in microseconds. So that is the scale. Second part is the customer is no more in silos, right? You cannot confine a customer as a rural customer or an urban customer, as Mr. Raj said. An urban customer is using far less social media than a rural customer. There are far more reels getting created in the semi-urban territories than in the urban territories. Corporates have less engagement in social media than what is happening in non-corporate sector or the MSME sector or the other sectors, which makes it equally important that we have to understand that customer is no more existing in silos. You cannot typecast a customer. You cannot create a customer's nature or persona just basis some of the data points that you have generated. Other part is technology has become the key, which the respected CEO said, CTO said, and the gentleman said. Why is it? Because customers' expectation, like any other person, has become so much demanding that a seamless transaction between the platforms is the only way a brand or a company or a business can survive. If you do not have a seamless transaction, seamless transfer of information from one platform to another platform, you're waiting for technology upgrades or you're expecting the customer to come back and fill the form and download your brochures, you're actually failing. The journey will break there itself. Other part is, there's a specific shift in the mindset of a marketer which is required when you are talking of technology and omni-channel. You can't have a 3G or a 2G technology supported on a mobile phone and a 5G technology supported for some of your apps. So technology synchronization has to happen right and has to be effortless. The customer having a small phone, which is a push-button phone, is also expecting the same kind of experience which a smartphone user is. So putting yourself in the customer's shoes, you have to look forward to having a technology integration in that format. All across platforms will boast not only the brand loyalty, but also the productivity, which is the most important part. Going to the grain, what the CTO sir said, it is not only that banking is expecting a change or seeing a change, even your small kirana store is challenging a Zepto now. If you go to some of the places where technology has become hyper-local, your kirana store wala has his own WhatsApp group. He has a shop inside the entire society which he operates sitting on his desk cash counter, and it is easy for him. So it is not only that Zepto is getting challenged with other Blinkit and other platforms, it is also getting a parallel challenge from the smaller players which are hyper-local in nature. You as a brand, you as a company will also have to think on those lines, because unless and until you are hyper-local and tech-savvy with your customer, you will lose the game, right? Now, benefits of being omni-channel, everybody knows in the room. Just for the sake of repetition and brushing your information, being from an academic background, I always feel that we should go back a step and then pick it up. The best part is the customer satisfaction is something which will only reduce if he is frustrated in the journey which you are offering him. So before you offer a journey, please go and experience the journey yourself. Convenience is the currency. We have all talked about it. Again, convenience is something which will determine the value of your brand, which will determine the loyalty of your customer, and which will determine the volume of your business. It is not product anymore which is making a difference. Zepto, Blinkit, or any other brand which are e-commerce brands have proven this, that convenience will actually supersede any other aspect of the business transaction which is taking place. Other part of it is the exploring the product online, whatever the wish list of the customer is, because I also enjoy some expertise in the behavioral science aspect of working with IIM Ahmedabad. You have to understand that the customer's expectation has to be addressed then and there. The customer wish list is your product pipeline. Unless you are able to gauge it, unless you are able to make sure that your product services are in line with the customer wish list, you will be out of the game. Anyways, sales and conversions depend on the omni-channel communication. How convenient it is for the customer is for buying a product is how convenient it is also for your salespeople to convince him if the journey is smoother and what do you say is without a break. As we all have data points and data has become the currency again, but it is also important not to cherry pick pieces of data and work on it. You have to select the data very cautiously and make sure that the data gives the right insight in the consumer's behavior. Right. It is no more a scene when a Maharaja of Patiala enters a car showroom and he is not understood. Unless you have not picked the right data point, you are always going to get misguided and always try to sell the wrong product to the person who doesn't who actually doesn't require the product. The other part of his operational efficiency is equally important in omni-channel, because unless operational efficiency and back-end operations are in sync with your technology and your sales team, you will fail at one juncture or the other, and you will lose the visibility of the customer journey. Brand loyalty, being a brand manager for Tata for quite a long time, I always wish the brand loyalty has to be the best at the time. The other important aspect for a brand and pivotal aspects, the key goals which they need to achieve is streamlining of the process and getting rid of redundancies, because what generally happens in all the sectors which we have noticed is that most of the time one department is not able to sync with the other department. Your marketing guy is selling something else, the accounting guy is budgeting on something else, the technology guy is still struggling with some of the features of his apps, and when it finally comes to delivery of the product or delivery of the service, customer feels frustrated. And there's where you lose the customer, and there's where the essence of omni-channel and all the technologies that you have onboarded in the company fail. Because the moment he feels frustrated, he gets his frustration out on a social media platform, and which adversely impacts your brand anywhere. Other important aspect of omni-channel communication which technology is enabling is personalization. Personalization is what customer wants. The era of people don't wanting the salesman to know about themselves is over. They want personalization, and hyper-personalization is only possible after using technology, because the gamut of activities that you are doing in and around the customer, including the promotion, including the products that you are offering, can only be suitable in an omni-channel platform if there is a personalization which is happening. Leveraging the data I mentioned. The other important aspect which is of omni-channel marketing which impacts the businesses is the customer acquisition and conversion. You can always improve the customer acquisition and the conversion rate, which is the CTR rate, if you are able to leverage on the omni-channel platforms from what the CTO sir said, acquiring a customer, knowing his data points, verification, and taking it forward to selling the products, identifying his needs, and making sure that it is adequately serviced and taken care of it. Omnichannel also adds loyalty part of it, which is an integral part of it. Why tech integration and a unified experience is more important? There is a rise in the voice consumer. What technology is now helping you is the customers are ordering using voice bots, voice channels, which is equally important. You should increase and encourage customer reviews, because that's what will give you insight in. Live 24/7, because your customer is living 24/7. Timely review of the software that you are having. Use the power of social media as a proof of your service. Refine and measure all the aspects, and embrace the unexpected, because change of technology is quick and fast to happen. Some tips, I'm running short of time, so there's some tips. First is map the customer journey, embrace the customer centricity approach, which our CTO sir said. The third part is break down the silos, invest in high technology and the right technology to have. Personalization, as I mentioned. Content, as usual. Embrace mobility, because mobile is the next future, and maybe going ahead, it may get further refined. Omni-channel analysis anyways is essential, because what we are doing is we are only analyzing the customer services and the different silos in which the customer is sitting. So it's important to analyze the entire picture, and then also invest in employees. Why is it important to invest in employees? Is because employees are the face, employees are the key to execution of the omni-channel practices and the omni-channel experience the customer will have. I've got 4 tips for you, which are the trending ones. First is personalization to the scale, integration of AI and automation, enhanced data privacy practices, because that is where the trust is going to come. And also what is not happening currently is in the loyalty programs. You see all the experiences from the banks and others, the customer journey is getting broken where the loyalty is getting transferred to it. So at every junction, whenever the customer is interacting, you need to service with the loyalty part of it. Some of the real-world examples which I'm carrying for you. Sephora's Beauty Insider program, one of the best programs where redemption rewards are being tracked and disseminated. Nike Run Club app, if anybody would have experienced it, it gives you an out-of-the-world experience and you get to know about it. Disney, most of us have kids who would have visited some or the other Disney World centers. We should have experienced how seamless the experience is. So they are taking the experience of the customer to the other level, integrating different omni-channel platforms, from buying the ticket to experiencing, to the post-experience, to the follow-ups, to the rewards and recognition, to the recall, and making sure that there is a return in customer, which happens. Myntra is our own example of India. Titan, we see here, DMart, Lenskart, and Tata Click. There are many more to add. Thank you. I'm running out of time. If there is any questions, anybody wants to connect to me, I'm available over here. Thanks a lot to the organization, and thanks a lot for all of you to have a patience listening. Thank you.
Request you to please stay back on the stage, and I would like to call Mr. Abhijit Chakravarti from Kotak Mahindra Bank to do the felicitation. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dr. Roy Kshemendra Sharma?